today I will show you how to perform the installation over a virtual machine, as well as we'll see the process on how to initiate a network-based installation. We'll see one based on the HTTP service, and another one is I'm planning to perform kickstart using a USB device. Okay. So, yeah. So another point is, in case if you want to make your own boot CD. Okay. So with the bootable CD. So I just want to show you how to where to download the ISO images. So you can download the ISO image, and then you can create your own bootable CD, and you can start installing on your own machine. There will be a slight difference between installing on your machine and installing on a virtual machine. In a VM, today I'll be showing you on a VM where by default the partitions will be created. I'll not be able to show you how to create the partition, but rest of the process with respect to installing the packages, selecting the other parameters would remain the same. Okay, so we need a ISO image. Okay, so my machine is it supports 64-bit architecture. Okay, so that's why I'm going to this x86_64. So you can visit this link where you can get the ISO images. Okay, so here this is the country. So if you can see here, there are two DVDs available, DVD1.iso and DVD2.iso. So it is sufficient if you download DVD1.iso. Okay, so DVD2.iso, it contains some extra files. So other than the basic ones, and also it's like files that correspond to other languages other than English. Those files are present in DVD2, so you can stick to DVD1.iso. All right. So once that is installed, you can burn it on a disk. Okay, and come up with your own bootable DVD using which you can perform the installation. Today I'll just show you in my virtual machine. I'll create a new VM container here. Okay, I'll just name it something. Okay, so here based on the operating system, it will show you the amount of supported RAM, minimum RAM that is needed. All right, and you can go with creating a new disk. Okay, we'll create a virtual disk image. Okay, you can either go with fixed or dynamic size allocation. So whatever size disk space which is there. So here you can select your own version, or you can either say it as other Linux, since I'm just keeping it. Alright, so this is the minimum amount of RAM, supported RAM, that is necessary for installing this. I'm gonna start with a new hard disk, creating a new container, and this is a image file. All right, so you can select if it is fixed or dynamically. Either option is fine for testing scenarios. All right, and so this is just the process of creating the virtual container itself. Okay, so once it is done, okay, I just creating the container now. Yeah, I have not specified the ISO file so far. I'm just creating the virtual container. Give me a minute. It crashed during the creation of the container itself. So this is the location. I've kept the files on my desktop. I'll be uploading from this location itself. So this is my USB device. It has this. You can perform a manual installation first, and then you can take this ks.cfg configuration file. I've simply renamed it, whatever is there under. So if you take the other machine there, the CentOS is the initial, the one which I used to show in every session for practice. So there, whatever anaconda.cfg file that got generated, I have renamed it to case.cfg and I have copied to my bootable disk. Okay, and in this instance, I have installed this HTTP service. I'll show you how I have performed that. So, and I have kept a copy of the same case.cfg file in that location. Okay, so we have started with the installation process. So here I'll show you this HTTP. So these are all different services other than your normal installation process. You can also keep your case.cfg file in any of these services, and we can make the system install the packages. So whatever packages or whatever configuration we want to install, it has to go and read the case.cfg file, and then we will point out the repository. So in my machine, it is like on my desktop, I have kept the image file from where the packages will be fetched, and then it will read the configuration from the case.cfg file, which is present either as a part of the HTTP service or as a part of my it is present in my USB drive. So it will fetch the configuration from here and it will install the packages from my desktop. So I'll show you that. Okay, so so that is two different types of installations that are part of this. And there is a tool using which you can generate this case.cfg file. You can either use the tool, or by default whatever file by default after you perform the installation you would also get to see that. And then we have seen there are different kinds of shells, out of which you do not have to switch to other shells. Mostly bash Bondigan shell is a shell which has all the properties. So regarding the properties, we have seen like auto completion features, remembering the history, and you can also use up and down arrows in order to go through the previous commands that you have used before. And there are some other commands like Control A, Control E, which will be helpful for you in order to move your cursor, or you can delete your word like that. So these are all the commands. And then we have discussed about the file system architecture, the way in which the files are distributed, the different kinds of files present, and how they are distributed functionality wise under the topmost directory, that is the slash directory. And yeah, and then we have kinds different users, particularly root user and non-root users. So if you see here, the root user, I have logged in as a root user here, root at www, that is the host name, and then you can see a tilde symbol over there which represents the home directory. All right, and then so this is the root user, so you can see a dollar prompt over there. For non-root users, hash prompt for non-root users, you can see a dollar prompt over there. Okay, CD by default it will take you to your home directory, which is /root. Under /root you will see there is a file called anaconda-case.cfg. that is your kickstart file. Okay, so whatever options you have chosen as a part of the installation, if you go with installing the CentOS on a virtual machine, it has a default configuration. It will install the default configuration. You will not get to select the options like creating partitions and all. Alright, so this is the kickstart file that got generated in my machine. Alright, so if you have observed, I'm trying to I'm switching between users. So you can remember this command su, that is for switching between the users. You can have multiple users in your system. You can see all the users in the file called etc password. Okay, whenever you create a user, an entry will get generated in this password file. So there are different users present in the system. If you observe here, even the system processes would also have a user that get generated. Okay, so here you can see the username and the user ID, the group ID are mentioned here, the default home directory, and end of the line shows the shell to which the user logs in. So system generated users doesn't have a default shell. Okay, so hence it is has been no login. Alright, so every time you create a user, so the user, there will be a home directory that gets generated and it will be present under /home. It is only the root user whose home directory is /root. Okay, so if you want to switch between users, you can use su command. So one thing that you can observe here is when, so pwd, I'm here under /root. Okay, I'm switching to user called Saran. Now see pwd. So I'm in the same directory, but I don't have access. Okay, as this user, I cannot access the root directory content. Rather, what you can do is do su space hyphen space Saran. Alright, so automatically when you use a hyphen, the user will be taken to his own home directory where he has access to the contents, his own contents. Alright, so you can use this switch user command for now, and I'll tell you how to create sudo users in the other modules. So basically, as a sudo user, what you can do is you can access the root folder as well. So there are a lot of admin operations which root user can only perform and a normal user cannot perform. For example, if you see this command fdisk-l, see you can also see command not found error is there. Alright, so you can search for this command, where is fdisk. Okay, usually it is part of sbin folder. Okay, where is fdisk. Okay, so if a command is not working for you, you can make use of this particular command. Where is will help you in locating the binary. Okay, so you can give the entire path sbin fdisk-l. Okay, so it's not displaying any output because it is only restricted to the root user. So again, what I'll do is I'll switch as root user. Okay, and again sbin fdisk-l. So this is the fdisk. Basically, it will display the list of partitions that are created in your system. All right. So this is /dev sda1 and sda2 are two partitions in my Linux instance. Okay, and yeah. So another important thing here. So if you have observed, I have used the entire path /sbin/fdisk. Okay. Rather, I don't want to keep using the keep giving the entire path every time. Okay, so for that, what you have to do is you need to add the path to the environment variable. So you can check the default values in the using echo command, echo $path. It will give you the list of paths that are currently present in the path variable for root user. Okay. Now there are two different ways. One is you can export, you can add the new path temporarily. That is this way. Okay, so path is your variable. The process is almost the same. So $path contains the existing values, colon. I'll give sbin. Okay, so I have added the path to the existing path variable. If you can see here, /sbin has been added to the ending. Now if I do fdi, the tab completion feature, press tab twice, it gets completed. Okay, -l. So this is how you can export the path temporarily. I mean, most of the time when you access Linux system, you must be installing some applications or doing some task. Okay, where you will get to where you might have the need to add paths to the variables like that. So another important thing, how to make this change permanently. Okay, so here pwd, I'll go to my home directory. Okay, so for every user in his home directory, there are some important configuration files. Okay, so if you observe these configuration files, they start with the dot. Okay, here you can see .bash_profile and .bash_rc. You can see the content of it. Alright, some variables are present here. See here, a path is equal to $path :home/bin. So, and again the path has been exported. You can either split it or use it as a single command, that is export space path is equal to $path, like that. Okay, so simply open this file, and here add $sbin or whatever folder you want to add where your binaries are present, and automatically that value will be pulled. So what happens is, the moment you log in, okay, a user logins into the system, so all these dot files will be sourced in the sense all these variables will be loaded for that particular user. Okay, so the moment you make the changes here and you log in, so if you have opened a terminal and then you have modified this, simply close and reopen the terminal. Automatically these variables will get loaded for you. Okay, so similarly there is a command called env using which you can see all the variables present in the system. Okay, so when you make a change, automatically it gets reflected in these variables, but if you just do it on the command line, it will be a temporary change. You need to make the entry in the corresponding bash rc or bash underscore profile configuration file. Alright, then it will be permanently reflected. So another important thing, those files are not visible when you do ls. Those are hidden files. Files which are created with a dot are hidden. You can even hide a directory by creating it, like starting with the dot mkdir dot testdir. Okay, so it is not visible. You need to do ls-a in order to see that hidden directory. Okay, and yeah, so you can see dot testdir here. Okay, so next, another thing, you're exporting those variables. All right, and then we have seen a few commands. I'll quickly show you all those commands. Okay, so we have started with all basic commands like displaying files using cat some file name, and then cat will simply display the entire content of the file on your screen. If you want to see the content page by page, you can use the command called as more install log. First page, you can keep pressing enter to see the rest of the file. Q to quit. Okay, and apart from this, there is another command called as head. Okay, you can pass the number of lines as an argument to it, and you can print it. So it will exactly display the number that you have given, head -5 install.log. So it will display you the 5 lines. Okay, so just like head, there is another command called as tail. Okay, tail -5 install.log. So it will display the last 5 lines of particular file. Okay, so these are also pretty much handy tools that you can use, and the most important use of the tail command is using -f. Okay, tail -f particular log file. Say, so what happens is, every time you must be working on application, and application logs must be getting generated. Okay, so parallelly we want to see what is happening in the application side and also in the logs. All right, so tail -f will display the instantaneous entries that are getting generated in your logs. So that is the advantage of using tail -f. So right now I have logged into run level 3, so I cannot open multiple sessions here. I'll log into GUI mode, and then I'll open multiple sessions, and I can show you how to generate, how to check using tail -f. Syntax is very simple: tail space -f space whatever log, or we'll try something. Okay, see the cursor has stopped here. So as this file keeps getting updated, this log file, this messages file, automatically you can observe the logs being generated on your screen. So that is the advantage of using tail -f. Okay. Yes, then we have seen ls command. So yes, for every command that we execute, there are a lot of arguments available. All this information is present as a part of the man pages. Okay, the man space command will give you all the arguments and all the information corresponding to that particular command. Okay, now with every command we'll see a few options. With ls, we have seen larth, so which will give a long listing and also the sorted list of all the files present in that folder. So the long listing basically helps you to know what kind of file it is and what are the permissions associated with the file. In Linux there are three kinds of permissions: the permissions which the owner of the file owns, and the permissions that are applicable to the corresponding group, and the permissions that are applicable to rest of the users in the system. Okay, so that is something which you can see here. So the first place indicates if it is a directory or a particular normal file. All normal files are represented as a hyphen, and then you can see the next three places. RWX are for the owner. Owner possesses all the three permissions: read, write, execute. And the next user, that is the group to which this particular user belongs. Every user, when you create, he'll be part of a group. Okay, so we'll see how to add users to groups and all. So what permissions does the group has, and last three places is for others. Okay, and then you can see the owner, the group name, what is the size of the file, when was it created, all this information. Okay, and yeah, then we have seen other simple commands like copy command, how to copy files, how to rename the files. Renaming is just like moving the file from one name, moving it, renaming it, moving from one place to another place, or you can even rename the files using the move command. The same syntax is applicable for directories as well. So, and the next thing is we have seen how to delete the folders, delete files in folders. So by default, rm some file name will delete. Will ask you for a confirmation if you want to delete it. If you don't want a confirmation, you can simply mention -f. Okay, and similarly for directories, the syntax is rmdir. Will delete rmdir is to delete empty directories. Okay, say mkdir, all right, rm mkdir. So it's a directory and cannot remove it. So you need to use rmdir. Okay, so that is helpful. And then we have seen how to delete directories that has content. It is rm space, say the test. Go to test. I'll touch is the command to create sample files. You can create multiple files using touch. Alright, so this directory has some content. I came back to my previous directory and rm space recursively -r and forcefully. Okay, so this will delete the directory as well as the contents of the directory. Okay, and then the other commands we have seen are listing, cat, more. We have covered head command and the cd. So the importance of cd, cd by default it will always take you to your home directory. Cd space ... to your previous directory, and you can what you can do is you can keep using this notation to keep going backwards. Alright, and another important one is cd space hyphen. If you remember, it will take you to the previous directory, in the sense say you are in two different structures altogether. Say Nyman / I'll go to /home seret. Okay, so if I do cd space ... I'll come to previous directory, but if I do cd space hyphen, it will take me to root directory. So this is the importance of it. And yeah, the next thing is we have seen operations on editors, VI editors. So VI editor basically helps you to edit the content that you have. So you can open a file there and you can edit this file. So YY is the command to copy it, and P is to print it. You can do 10P as well to print it 10 times. So always remember the position of the cursor is important in a VI editor. Alright, so from the position of the cursor, say if you want to delete file lengths, you can do 5DD. Okay, it will delete all the file lengths. Similarly, shift, okay, if you're at the top, shift G will help you to the bottom. You can also find and replace. Okay, we'll start with find /test. You can set like this, and if you want to do a reverse switch, you can do with a question mark. Alright, and the next one is replacing the files. Percentages word1 /word2. Okay, like that you can find and replace. Alright. So there are some more operations here. You can see how to perform those commands inside your VI editor. Alright, then we have seen 3 more tools: awk, grep, and ACD. Grep we have used, to pull specific strings, to search with a specific string inside a file. It will bring you all the corresponding matches from that file. Similarly, we have seen the functionality of awk and ACD as well. And then it is compression techniques, how to archive the files. So there are different ways. One is the basic, creating basic .tar files using tar CVF. You can apply it on a normal individual files, and you can also apply it on folders. So here in this syntax, if you put -cv g gf, if you add another argument called g, you will create a gunzip file or a gzip file, and if you put a j here, you will create a binary zip file. Alright, similarly, instead of c means creation, if you put x, you can extract both tar as well as gunzip as well as binary zip along with the tar extension. Okay, so if you want to apply gunzip individually without using tar command, you can go with the command called gunzip, or similarly you have I think bunzip for binary zip. Okay, you can apply that individually, and you can also apply it, you can combine it with the tar command.